broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, we're on air. So it is now 7 o'clock by our clock here. I'm going to call the Planning and Economic Development Committee to order. I'll just go around. I am here as the chairperson. Dr. Johnson? Here. Okay. Alderman Jean-Francois? Here. Alderwoman Ram Kasoon?
Present.
All right, and Alderman Burr is absent, but we have 4 out of 5. So we can rock and roll. We have a quorum. What we have on the agenda for this evening is I believe it is a 7-lot subdivision for 32 Davidge Road and 67 Highland View Place. Eileen, do we have someone on for the property that can speak about the project?
We do. We have a John.
All right.
John, you should be good.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you on. Thank you.
I'm John Quinn from Lake County Engineering, engineer for the applicant. We're referring to the project opening the Country Club Estates Presidential Heights subdivision. It's really what we're calling phase 2 of this. And it's a 7-lot subdivision, which is comprised of 2 existing tax parcels at the corner of Highland View Place and Davidge Road. And these 2 parcels and a right-of-way were previously looked at as part of the original subdivision up in Presidential Heights there. So what we're proposing to do is to connect Highland View Place to Kennedy Terrace and develop an additional 5 lots for a total of 7. So it's the 2 existing lots would be subdivided to create an additional 5 for a total of 7, along with the connection of Highland View Place to Kennedy Terrace. We believe that that was always the intent with the original subdivision plan, was to eventually connect that, as that right-of-way has been, was planned with the original subdivision. The lots would be single-family residential homes, and basically the lot sizes would be anywhere from the minimum up to about a little less than an acre in size. The road that's proposed to be constructed would be built to city standards, would be dedicated to the city, would also contain sewer and water within the road. So we're before you tonight with that proposal. I'd be happy to answer any questions or any other comments that the board may have.
Thank you very much. I'll just go around real quick and just, Alderwoman Ram Kasoon, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Not at this time.
I'm gonna let this. I just figured while we had everyone working on the line, I'd just go around real quick. Alderman Kleiner, do you have any questions quickly, or before we have Alex and Commissioner Wheel speak?
No, not specifically. I mean, I looked at the plans pretty closely because that's basically behind where I live on Randall Heights. So, and people, it would be good, I think, to have another way out of that whole back area. We know when the tree went down across Highland View Place that it was just closed and people had to use the dirt road the best they could, and we didn't want that. So, and all the lot sizes seem to be, it indicated they were all above our minimum requirement for lot size. So, be interested to hear more about the proposal as we go along.
Thank you. Alderman Jean-Francois, any questions?
I'd like to hear more from the Commissioner and Alex.
Sure, absolutely. Matthew, Alderman Tobin, any questions for the applicant so far? Or for,
I know the standard's 30 feet. Is that like, does that fit with the neighborhood, 30 feet for a backyard? Or
yeah, I'll have a, may want to speak to that.
Address some. As Jerry, I also live up in that neighborhood, and I have my deed down in the office. And what I would ask is that the committee get copies of the property deeds from the applicant, because there are restrictions on that from the Randall Heights Corporation, deed restrictions on each individual property based on the cubic feet of a house, not the square feet. I think it was like 23,500 cubic feet minimum. There are 40-foot setbacks and 10 feet side yard variances. Now, whether all these parcels are part of the Randall Heights Corporation original deed restrictions, I don't know. But I would request that the committee put a request into the applicant that they provide copies of the deeds so we can review to see if there are any restrictions. And I'm not sure what the plan shows. Sparrow, you said, what kind of setbacks do they have?
Oh, it looks like the minimum 30 feet, like.
Yeah, well, the deed restrict, if it is part of the Randall Heights Corporation restrictions, then they would be required to have a 40-foot setback. So there are some questions, and I guess we can answer them when we start seeing the copies of the deeds.
Absolutely.
That's
Thank
my
you.
only question.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Johnson, any questions?
Thank you. I guess just generically, I'm not sure how these lots land with the current lots. So if obviously the homeowners will have an opportunity to speak. Am I going to be a homeowner that now has somebody in my backyard whereas before I had woods? Or am I going to have a road behind my backyard where before it was woods? I think that's where the homeowners will say, wait a minute, I had this and now I have that. If you're the guy next to that 5 houses or 7 houses, it was not what you were planning on, not that you have a right to object, but that's what I would think about with the project. And how does it affect the property owners that are currently in the area? Thank you.
Really, thank you. And certainly a public hearing would handle that. Commissioner Tullo, do you want to speak about the road? I know I had asked you, and if you could just clarify that it's a good thing to have a road there as a second entry and exit way.
Yeah, actually, when this thing was laid out with Lankan Tully million years ago, it was the city's idea. It was our idea to create this road. And then in return, they said, oh, okay, we can create this road as long as we can have, lots created in there to be built so that we can afford to build the road for you. But the idea of the road is very essential for us. We've used it. We tried to get the developer to maintain it, to provide rough grade. He did not, so we had to do it ourselves. So the city has been building it up with our millings to provide second means of egress for all this area in there, the whole entire Highland View Place and all the new development, because quite a few houses are being built there.
Sure.
And aside of what the mayor said, which is very important to make sure there is no deed restriction, I think it's a viable project, and we need this road developed as soon as possible and paved.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Corporation Counsel, if you wouldn't mind, just, I know we spoke.
Anything other than what Jacob
Right,
and the
right,
mayor-
about the deed restrictions.
Mayor had said, we have to assure that, that whatever deed restrictions may be involved in that area don't impact here, and if they do, there'll have to be an amendment to the application.
Sure. Would you recommend that we hold off on scheduling a public hearing until we get those, or should we schedule it pending?
Well, I think that's a question for is the applicant listening now?
I don't know if we have.
Yes, I am.
I don't know, you've heard this issue raised with the deed restrictions. How quickly do you think you can get the information that we need?
I could probably pull the deeds tomorrow and sift through them, so maybe latest by the end of this week, have everything together, if it all goes well. I'm not aware of any deed restrictions in this area. We're following what was originally done in the rest of the subdivision. But even if there were additional setbacks required, I think we could accommodate them, but I'll get the deeds, we'll see what it says, and we'll go from there. A lot of these lots are very large as compared to the minimum lot size. So if we had to provide additional setbacks, I think we certainly could.
I would suggest holding off a public hearing until we get this straight.
Okay.
Because there's no sense of presenting the public with one thing and then changing it a week or two later because we have new information.
Right, okay. All right, I'll just go around the room once more. Alderman Ramkasoon, any questions? Are you okay with holding off on the public hearing?
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
this with our due diligence.
Sure. Alderman Kleiner, any further
The same,
comments?
yes.
Hold off. Okay, Alderman Jean-Francois, Alderman Massey, Alderman Tobin, Alderman Johnson.
Proceed as discussed.
Okay.
Thank you.
President Rodriguez, any? Okay. So we will hold off until we get the deed restrictions for, or if there are any, we'll get any notice on that, and then post that, and once we find out, we will schedule the public hearing. So, John, if you could get those to us as soon as possible, that would be wonderful.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Well, that's all that we have on the agenda for this evening. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, second. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much. The meeting is now adjourned.